Egyptian pharaohs were considered both political rulers and divine figures, believed to be the living gods on earth. They played a central role in maintaining the cosmic order, ensuring prosperity and stability in the kingdom. The pharaohs had monumental structures built, including massive temples and tombs, to honor the gods and themselves. The succession of pharaohs often relied on family ties, with the throne typically passing down through the male line, although women could also rule in rare situations. Pharaohs played a critical role in managing Egypt's economy through the collection of taxes, which were typically paid in the form of grain, livestock, or labor. They controlled trade both within Egypt and with foreign lands, often establishing diplomatic relations to acquire valuable resources like wood, metals, and luxury goods. Agriculture, the backbone of the economy, was heavily regulated by the state, with the pharaoh ensuring that irrigation systems and granaries were maintained. They also managed the construction of large-scale projects, employing vast numbers of workers, which promoted local economies and facilitated the redistribution of wealth. Pharaohs were the supreme commanders of Egypt's military, leading campaigns to protect the kingdom from external threats and expand its borders. They built a strong army, often using chariots and archers, and relied on a combination of conscripts and professional soldiers. Defensive fortresses and military outposts were established along Egypt's borders, especially in the Nile Delta and the Eastern Desert, to safeguard against invasions. Pharaohs also negotiated alliances with other kingdoms using both military strength and diplomacy to secure Egypt's position in the region. Egyptian pharaohs were central figures in both the political and spiritual life of ancient Egypt. Their legacy is seen in the monumental achievements, such as the pyramids and temples, which continue to stand as symbols of their divine rule and lasting influence. The role of pharaohs was pivotal in shaping Egypt's identity and ensuring its prosperity for centuries. Pharaoh Akhenaten ruled Egypt from around 1353 to 1336 BCE during the 18th dynasty. He is most famous for his radical religious reform and his establishment of Atenism, which centered on the worship of the god Aten. Akhenaten sought to diminish the power of Egypt's traditional priesthood, especially that of Amun, and replace the polytheistic practices with a form of monotheism, where Aten was the only god. This shift was revolutionary in a deeply religious and polytheistic society like Egypt, and it had widespread consequences for art, culture, and politics. Akhenaten moved the capital from Thebes to a new city, Akhetaten, modern-day Amarna, which became the center of his religious and political vision. Pharaoh Akhenaten's religious reforms and focus on the worship of Aten had a significant indirect impact on Egypt's military strategy. With his primary attention on religious and artistic pursuits, he reduced Egypt's military engagement and neglected the traditional maintenance of its armed forces. During his reign, Egypt's borders, particularly in regions like Canaan and Syria, were left relatively undefended, leading to incursions from foreign powers. This weakening of military focus under Akhenaten is thought to have contributed to a decline in Egypt's geopolitical influence during his rule. Despite these reforms, Akhenaten's reign ended in turmoil. After his death, his successor, the young Tutankhamun, who is thought to have been his son, restored traditional polytheistic practices, and the worship of Aten quickly declined. Akhenaten's city, Akhetaten, was abandoned, and his name was erased from historical records, likely as part of a campaign to discredit his reign. Despite the brief period of time and the eventual rejection of his religious changes, Akhenaten remains one of the most enigmatic and controversial figures in ancient Egyptian history. Ultimately, his religious and economic reforms created a period of significant upheaval, and his successors struggled to restore the previous economic order. Pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops, ruled during Egypt's fourth dynasty around 2589, 2566 BCE, and his reign was a defining moment in the establishment of the Old Kingdom's political structure. His power was centralized, and he had absolute control over both religious and political matters, symbolizing the divine nature of the pharaoh as Egypt's living god. One of his major achievements in politics was the establishment of an efficient bureaucratic system that supported his monumental projects, especially the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. This system required a good administration, which included officials who managed the allocation of resources, labor, and materials for such a vast undertaking. Khufu's reign also marked an era of economic prosperity, facilitated by a stable political system that encouraged large-scale trade and agriculture. He is thought to have controlled Egypt's trade routes, ensuring access to resources like cedarwood, precious stones, and metals that were essential for construction and other projects. Despite the impressive nature of his reign, there are limited written records from his time, and much of what we know comes from later inscriptions and monuments. Khufu's political legacy is also tied to the monumental efforts of his pyramid construction, which required the coordination of a large labor force. This effort likely involved thousands of workers, ranging from skilled craftsmen to seasonal laborers, who were supported through state resources. His reign contributed to the consolidation of Egypt's political stability, paving the way for his successors to build upon his achievements. The Great Pyramid, his most enduring legacy, symbolized not only his power, but also the centralization of state resources and the divine nature of the pharaoh's role in Egypt. Despite the grandeur of his achievements, Khufu's political image was controversial in ancient Egypt. Some later texts, including those from the Middle Kingdom, describe him as a tyrant. However, these accounts may have been exaggerated or mythologized by later generations, seeking to explain the hardships associated with the labor force. Regardless of the debates about his personality, Khufu's political influence is undeniable, and his reign is viewed as a crucial chapter in the development of Egypt's ancient political system.
Thutmose III, often regarded as one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs, ruled during the 18th dynasty from 1479 to 1425 BCE. He ascended to the throne at a young age, initially as co-regent with his stepmother, Hatshepsut, before fully taking control. Thutmose III was a skilled military leader, expanding Egypt's empire to its greatest territorial extent through over 17 military campaigns, most notably the Battle of Megiddo, which secured Egypt's dominance in the Levant. Known as Thutmose, the Conqueror, his military strategies and use of chariots revolutionized Egyptian warfare. He also instituted a series of administrative reforms that strengthened Egypt's governance. After Hatshepsut's death, Thutmose III sought to erase her legacy, removing her name from monuments and records. His reign marked a golden age for art and culture, with his contributions to architecture being monumental, including the construction of temples, obelisks, and the famous mortuary temple at Karnak. He was a patron of the arts and supported the creation of numerous statues and inscriptions to honor the gods. Thutmose III also made significant advancements in trade, establishing connections with distant regions such as Punt, Syria, and the Aegean. His extensive military campaigns helped to secure Egypt's resources, allowing for an economic boom. Notably, he was a prolific builder, and his reign saw the construction of many monumental structures, including the Temple of Amun at Karnak. His tomb, located in the Valley of the Kings, is filled with stunning wall paintings. He is credited with refining the use of the Egyptian chariot, making it a dominant force in warfare. Thutmose III was deeply religious and sought to strengthen Egypt's religious influence through his extensive temple-building program. He is also known for his wisdom and strategy, using diplomacy when necessary, such as during his dealings with Mitanni and other kingdoms. He lived a long life for his time, ruling for 54 years, and left a lasting legacy that influenced future pharaohs. His mummified body, found in the Valley of the Kings, has provided historians with insights into his health and appearance. His reign brought about an era of peace and prosperity, contributing to Egypt's stability. Thutmose III was succeeded by his son. His military conquests continued to be admired by later generations. His achievements were commemorated in a series of inscriptions, which documented his military exploits. Additionally, his reign saw advancements in medicine, astronomy, and engineering. The sheer scope of his empire and his legacy left an indelible mark on Egyptian history. Beyond warfare, he was a skilled administrator, fostering economic prosperity, encouraging trade, and overseeing monumental building projects that left an enduring architectural legacy. His contributions to Egypt's culture, religion, and arts enriched the civilization, while his diplomatic approach ensured long-lasting stability. Thutmose III's legacy as a military genius, builder, and visionary ruler continues to be celebrated as one of the most significant in Egyptian history. The pyramids of Egypt, primarily located in Giza, are one of the most iconic wonders of the ancient world. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu, stands as the largest and oldest of the three pyramids, with a height of 481 feet, though it was initially 481 feet tall before the reduction in its height. It is estimated to have been constructed over 20 years, using around 2.3 million limestone blocks, each weighing several tons. These immense structures were built as tombs to honor the pharaohs and ensure their journey into the afterlife. The pyramids were initially covered in smooth white limestone, which reflected the sun, making them shine brightly, though most of this casing has been removed over time. The alignment of the pyramids with the cardinal points is incredibly precise, with the Great Pyramid being aligned almost exactly to the true north. The Giza pyramids also demonstrate remarkable architectural knowledge, with the ability in hinting advanced mathematical and engineering skills. The ancient Egyptians did not use mortar in the construction of the pyramids, relying instead on precise cutting and fitting of the stones. The exact methods used to transport the massive stones to such heights remain a mystery, though theories suggest ramps and cranes may have been employed. Contrary to the popular belief that slaves built the pyramids, most evidence suggests that a skilled workforce of laborers, farmers, and craftsmen was employed. During the flooding of the Nile, when agriculture was not possible, they worked on the pyramids. They were gathered in large teams and housed in nearby workers' villages, where they were provided with food, shelter, and medical care. The pyramids were initially surrounded by temples, causeways, and smaller tombs for the pharaoh's family and officials. Despite their age, the pyramids have withstood centuries of weathering and invasions, making them some of the most enduring man-made structures in history. The pyramids were part of a larger necropolis that included tombs and funerary temples for other prominent figures of the time. The Egyptian pyramids are not only found in Giza, but also in other parts of Egypt, including Saqqara and Dashur, where many earlier pyramids can be found, such as the Bent Pyramid and the Step Pyramid, which is considered the first true pyramid. The Step Pyramid, built by Pharaoh Djoser around 2630 BCE, marks an important evolution in pyramid construction. Over 100 pyramids are believed to have been built in Egypt during the Old and Middle Kingdoms. The pyramids were designed to be tombs for pharaohs, who were considered gods in life and death. Interestingly, the pyramids were also intended to serve as symbols of the pharaoh's power and the nation's prosperity. The exact purpose of the pyramid's internal chambers, like the king's chamber and the queen's chamber, is still debated, with theories ranging from religious to astronomical purposes. For centuries, the pyramids were considered part of an ancient mystery, and their construction techniques sparked many myths and legends. Some believe that aliens may have helped build the pyramids, though this theory is not supported by evidence. Archaeologists continue to study the pyramids to uncover new facts, and recent discoveries, including chambers in the Great Pyramid, have kept the fascination with these ancient wonders alive. Today, the pyramids attract millions of visitors from all over the world, standing as a testament to the ingenuity, skill, and culture of ancient Egyptian civilization. The pyramids of Egypt remain not only an enduring symbol of Egypt's power, but also a key to understanding the ancient world. The Babylonian Empire was one of the most influential ancient civilizations. known for its remarkable advancements in law, architecture, and science. It flourished in the region of Mesopotamia, specifically along the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Babylon itself became a cultural and political center, home to impressive feats like the Hanging Gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The Babylonians were highly skilled in mathematics and astronomy, developing a base 60 number system still in use today for measuring time and angles. Their knowledge of celestial movements led to the creation of an early calendar system. Babylonians were also pioneers in astrology, linking the positions of celestial bodies to human affairs and predictions. The empire had a well-developed legal code, one of the earliest known, which influenced future legal systems. In terms of engineering, the Babylonians constructed vast city walls and ziggurats, showcasing their advanced understanding of construction and urban planning. Their society was stratified, with a clear distinction between the elite, merchants, and slaves. Trade was a vital component of their economy, with goods such as textiles, spices, and metals flowing through Babylon's bustling markets. Babylonian art was characterized by intricate carvings, pottery, and glazed brickwork, often depicting gods, mythical creatures, and daily life. Religion played a central role, with numerous temples dedicated to various deities, and rituals were an essential part of society. The Babylonians mastered the art of agriculture, utilizing advanced techniques to turn the arid landscape into good farmland. Their society valued education, and they established early forms of schooling where young men were trained in writing, mathematics, and law. The Babylonians are credited with the creation of a logosyllabic writing system, one of the earliest systems of writing, which allowed them to record historical events, transactions, and literature. The empire had a highly strong military, using chariots and infantry, and they developed effective strategies in warfare. The Babylonians also excelled in medicine, using a combination of herbal remedies, rituals, and incantations to treat illnesses. They practiced a form of architecture that blended both function and beauty, with massive gateways and monumental structures designed to awe visitors. Babylon's strategic location made it a center of diplomacy, and it was often a crossroads for various cultures. The Babylonians valued knowledge, and their libraries housed many texts, including works of science, literature, and law. They were keen observers of the natural world and contributed to the study of plants, animals, and natural phenomena. Their artisans were highly skilled in creating jewelry, and they often used lapis lazuli, gold, and silver in their work. Babylonians played a key role in the development of early trade routes, connecting distant parts of the ancient world. Their military prowess enabled them to expand their territory, but their empire was also known for periods of peace and cultural exchange. Their influence stretched far beyond their borders, with many aspects of their culture being absorbed by other civilizations. Despite the challenges they faced, such as invasions and internal conflicts, the Babylonian Empire left an indelible mark on the ancient world that shaped future civilizations in many ways. Hammurabi, the sixth king of the first Babylonian dynasty, ruled from 1792 BCE to 1750 BCE, and is best known for creating one of the earliest and most complete written legal codes, the Code of Hammurabi. These laws, inscribed on a stone stele, provided a clear framework for justice, covering everything from family law to commerce and labor. Hammurabi's code established the principle of an eye for an eye, setting the foundation for legal systems around the world. He expanded Babylon into a dominant power in the ancient Near East through military conquests, including defeating the Elamites, the Larsa Kingdom, and others. His reign saw the rise of Babylon as a major political, cultural, and religious center. Hammurabi's centralized power in Babylon, standardizing weights, measures, and currency to facilitate trade. He was also known for promoting agriculture and supported a growing population. The king also focused on infrastructure, commissioning large construction projects, including temples, palaces, and defensive walls. He had an interest in law and justice, often portraying himself as a shepherd for his people, ensuring their well-being and prosperity. Hammurabi's reign is often considered a model of ancient kingship, blending military prowess, governance, and law. His legacy persisted for centuries, influencing later legal systems across the Middle East and beyond. His reign marked a peak in Babylonian culture, especially in literature and science, including advancements in astronomy and mathematics. The stele containing his laws was discovered in 1901 in Susa, modern-day Iran, and today it is one of the most important artifacts of ancient law. Hammurabi's ability to maintain order in a vast empire relied heavily on his understanding of both governance and divine authority, presenting himself as a ruler appointed by the gods. His depiction on the stele shows him receiving the law from the god Shamash, symbolizing divine support for his rule. He used diplomacy as well as military force to consolidate his power, establishing Babylon as a center of trade and culture. Throughout his reign, he maintained a delicate balance between justice, military strength, and economic stability, allowing Babylon to flourish. Despite his achievements, Hammurabi's legacy is complex. While he brought unity and law to Babylon, his harsh laws also reflected the brutal realities of ancient justice. The stele itself stands as a testament to his vision, not just as a king, but as a lawgiver and statesman. His efforts to codify laws set the stage for future legal systems and shaped the governance of future empires. Even after his death, Hammurabi's influence continued, with his laws being referenced by later kings and scholars. His reign is often seen as the height of Babylonian civilization, where legal, cultural, and economic advancements were made. His administrative practices also served as a model for other rulers, blending ancient customs with innovations. Hammurabi was not just a conqueror, but also a pioneer in understanding complex bureaucracies, laying the groundwork for centralized rule. His reputation as a just and fair ruler made him a symbol of law and order in the ancient world during his dynasty. Nabopolassar, the founder of the Babylonian Empire, ruled from 626 BCE until his death in 605 BCE. His rise to power marked the end of Assyrian dominance in Mesopotamia and the beginning of a new era in Babylonian history. Nabopolassar was from a provincial governor under the Assyrians, but he eventually rebelled against Assyrian rule. His rebellion, sparked by the weakening power of the Assyrians, was aided by the Medes. After several years of warfare, Nabopolassar successfully seized control of Babylon and declared himself king. One of Nabopolassar's key achievements was the recapture of large portions of Mesopotamia, including the significant city of Nineveh, the heart of Assyrian power. He effectively ended Assyrian rule in the area by 612 BCE, which marked the collapse of the Assyrian Empire. Nabopolassar also worked to rebuild and strengthen Babylon, transforming it into a thriving cultural and political center. His reign was characterized by a strong military, skilled diplomacy, and the strategic use of alliances, especially with the Medes and Scythians. Nabopolassar's military campaigns also expanded the borders of Babylon, stretching into modern-day Syria, parts of Iran, and even reaching the Mediterranean. He is believed to have started the construction of the famed Ishtar Gate in Babylon, a monumental symbol of the empire's grandeur. Nabopolassar's reign also saw the establishment of a new Chaldean dynasty, which ruled Babylon for several generations. Despite his military successes, his reign was marked by internal unrest and revolts, particularly from the Assyrians, who had not fully accepted their defeat. Nabopolassar's son would go on to build the Babylonian Empire into a major world power. Although Nabopolassar was an effective ruler, many of his most famous accomplishments were carried out or expanded upon by his son. He was also instrumental in restoring Babylonian religion, culture, and pride. His efforts to secure Babylon's future paved the way for the city to flourish in the centuries that followed. Nabopolassar's reign, however, is often overshadowed by the more famous achievements of his son. Despite this, Nabopolassar's pivotal role in establishing the Babylonian Empire cannot be understated. His defeat of the Assyrians and his reclamation of Mesopotamia are considered some of his greatest legacies. His death in 605 BCE marked the end of an era and the beginning of his son's rule, which would shape the empire's destiny. Nabopolassar's efforts also had a lasting impact on the geopolitical landscape of the ancient Near East. Even though he was not as well documented as some of his successors, Nabopolassar's role in the rise of Babylon remains a key chapter in the history of the ancient world. Nabopolassar's reign was crucial in the rise of the Babylonian Empire, marking the end of Assyrian dominance and laying the foundation for the Babylonian Empire. Nabopolassar's leadership and victories in reclaiming Mesopotamia from Assyria were pivotal in shaping the future of the empire. His legacy is a testament to his skill as a ruler and his role in securing Babylon's place in history.